Nintendo once released a game so bad that kids turned off a Mario game and never played it again. Not because it crashed, not because it was hard, because it was so boring that children, who'll play with literal cardboard boxes, couldn't force themselves to continue. This wasn't Virtual Boy or those CDI disasters. It was worse, a deliberate scam disguised as education, with Mario's face hiding the betrayal inside. The worst Nintendo game ever made is Mario's Time Machine, released in 1993. This game took Mario, defined by precise jumping and satisfying power-ups, and reduced him to a walking museum tour. You walk right through a hallway, read text, answer a question, walk left. No platforming, no enemies, no game. Just walking and reading. They took the world's most famous platformer and removed the platforming entirely. But terrible gameplay isn't the worst part. The worst part is the lies. Parents bought this thinking their kids would learn history. Instead, it taught misinformation. The game claims Edison invented the light bulb. He didn't. He commercialized existing tech. It reduces Beethoven to the deaf grumpy guy. It says the American Revolution was about tea taxes, erasing all political complexity. A bad game wastes time. A bad educational game makes you dumber. Kids learned wrong facts they'd unlearn in school. That's genuinely harmful. Nintendo didn't stop at one version. They made 3, SNES, NES, and PC, each uniquely terrible. The NES version has even less gameplay. The PC version has nightmare fuel character designs. Then they made sequels, Mario is Missing, Mario's Early Years, an entire franchise designed to trick grandparents who saw Mario plus educational and bought without question. Reviews were scathing. GamePro gave it 2.5 out of 5. Blockbuster reported it as their most returned game, but Nintendo kept licensing them anyway. Why would Nintendo allow this? 1993 was peak video game panic. Mortal Kombat sparked congressional hearings. Parents feared gaming would corrupt kids. Educational games were the answer. Companies could charge full price for minimal effort because parents preferred boring educational games over fun, violent ones. Nintendo licensed Mario to the Software Toolworks with zero oversight. They treated him as a box mascot, not understanding that Mario is defined by specific gameplay mechanics. They thought the brand alone would sell it. They were right. It sold incredibly well at launch. No internet existed to warn people, no YouTube reviews, just parents buying it, kids playing for 20 minutes, then abandoning it forever. By the time word spread through playgrounds that it was unbearably boring, Nintendo had already made their money. Thousands of copies sat in closets, unfinished, next to the good Mario games kids actually wanted. Here's what makes this truly sad. Failed educational games teach kids that learning itself is boring. Mario's Time Machine showed children that history means gray hallways and lifeless text. Some probably grew up thinking they hated history. This is the worst Nintendo game ever because it's cynical exploitation. Nintendo built their empire on tight gameplay and joy. This has no gameplay and brings tedium. It's worse than Virtual Boy games that tried to innovate, worse than buggy games that were attempting to be games, worse than licensed shovelware because Nintendo's name is directly on this. It exploited parental anxiety and brand trust to sell something with zero value. That's the ultimate betrayal of what Nintendo represents. Imagine being a kid who trusted Mario completely. Every Mario game had been incredible. You open it Christmas morning, excited, then you play it, and something breaks. Not the game, but your trust. You learn that corporations can lie through omission, that Mario's face doesn't guarantee quality. An entire generation learned that lesson from this game. That's its legacy. Not education, not fun. Just disappointment and broken trust. Nintendo eventually learned. They tightened licensing control. They protected Mario's legacy. But the damage was done. Mario's Time Machine exists as proof that even the best companies will exploit their customers if they think they can get away with it. It's a warning, frozen in cartridge form. If you owned this game, I have my deepest sympathy. Drop a comment and share your pain. You've earned it.